Hey guys, what's happening? It's Trace Face coming at you here on a Thursday evening. So I'm feeling really good tonight. I have a client appointment I'm looking forward to this evening, and I'm gonna be going out after that. And yeah, this has been a month for me of like self-preservation, getting back to the authentic Trace, what Trace really wants to do, what she should be doing with, how she should be making money. And so I'm getting back into it. I'm really putting my music first, which is something I haven't done in ages. My priorities changed when I thought that, after I got married, that I had to focus on making more money and being serious about, work and, trying to find out what direction I should be going in terms of making money. But now this whole thing has kind of happened with me where I creatively am finding ways to make money and understanding what I'm truly good at. And music was pretty much number one for me, with like acting and dance and things of that nature. So good things are happening. And again, I can't stress enough that when you get rid of these narcissistic, toxic individuals from your life, good things all of a sudden start happening. Like me getting a phone call first thing this morning, finding out that I got chosen to do makeup for a major movie coming over here in the spring. Yep. I don't even know how these people got my name. So it's like, at any rate, yeah, you gotta remove that toxic energy on all levels from your life. And I'm talking, if that means, I held on to work. That was the last thing I was holding on to that I needed to let go. And I was holding on because of the money. And frankly, for what I was doing for that organization, it was not worth the money I was making to deal with the narcissistic work environment that I was dealing with the top dog and all of his flying monkeys that acted just like him. At any rate, tonight I wanted to talk to all of you about how the narcissist will forever drive you to the point of insanity, drive you to the point where it's not you anymore. You're acting out of your character, and they are changing the narrative forever. They're always going to change the narrative. My cat is trying to get in on this video right now. And so you have to understand that each and every time you engage with the narcissist, it is complete and absolute crazy making. That's all it is. It's crazy making. You're going to go around in circles trying to defend yourself, trying to stick up for yourself, trying to show the narcissist why the narcissist is wrong. Listen, it's a waste of your time and energy. It's always going to be. The narcissist has not changed. The narcissist will not change. And so there, you have to understand that they have to live in the false narrative and the false self that they have created. And anybody that challenges the false self that they've created, and actually makes reality knock at their door, they are so out of there. They cannot have that. That is why you're always going to find them making these new friendships. If they moved, they switched offices, they're working somewhere else, they're doing something else. They have a hard time keeping jobs. The bosses usually catch on to their if the boss is not like them, the boss will catch on to the fact that they're a narc and not want them around from their behaviors and the things that they think they're entitled to go around doing at their jobs. So they constantly are looking for those minions and those people that are going to believe their narrative, that are going to believe their side of the story, which, as we know, is completely false. It's completely inaccurate. And as I said before, they don't even remember from one day to the next what actually happened, because they're constantly telling lies to themselves. They're constantly pathologically lying to themselves all day, and they're lying to you, and they're lying to everybody else that doesn't know any better. They're going around and they're switching the narrative to the telling the story that you are all the things they are. And people that don't know any better and that they're able to just see literally like an hour window of them at work think that this is it. This person's a real good person. I don't know where I read this or saw this week, but it takes on average 7 times of encounters with the narcissist to in those 7 times of seeing that narcissist, you're bamboozled. It doesn't matter who it is. I think it's in this article that I did want to read to all of you this weekend when I go live. I have an article that I found that is just brilliant the way it was written, and it is an article that I couldn't even try to describe in words if I tried. So, and it is about Narcissus and Echo, and I'd like to read it to all of you, and get your comments on that. So, getting back to the fact that they will drive you completely insane. They're going to do these other things too, where like when they need to get validation for what truly happened, or they need to test the waters and the temperature with you, or they need to shut you up somehow, or it's a small window of making themselves feel better for what they did, and others that are part of their little circle of hate and evilness. They're going to find a way to try and get you to contact them. And they'll go through all lengths, you guys. They're sick individuals. They'll make it seem like it's very important. You need to call me back. I need you to call me. I understand you blocked me, but you got to, just block your number so that I don't know your new number. But I have something that you need to hear. You need to hear this. They'll come up with all kinds of statements to get you to think like, well, maybe it's about the family. Maybe it's about somebody in their family. Maybe, it's a trick and it's a trap, just like everything else. Don't buy it. You ask them straight out what it is they want. If they can't answer you with a straight answer, don't bother. Okay? It's part of their false self-operation. For those of us that have gotten tangled in their web, and it's a very dark and deep web, I just want to say to all of you tonight, never ever forget the person you were before all of this happened to you. Don't let go of him or her. Don't do it. Hold on to that person. That person is now going to be a more evolved version of that person that once was before all this narcissistic abuse happened, and especially if it happened within an intimate relationship. If you unfortunately had these experiences as kids, well, it can't get back to that because those were your experiences. But for many people, you were a different person for sure before they came into your life. I got to tell you, I wasn't even done with the emotional abuse of the first narcissist before I met the second, having no clue that he was a sociopath. And that relationship ended after 4 years with the second person who was the sociopath. That relationship ended horribly. And I wasn't over that. And literally 6 months later, you have to listen to, you do really have this birdie on your shoulder that's talking to you, and it is a natural instinct that's happening, that's letting you know that this person has the darkness on them. This person has the darkness. I walked into a bar on June 25th, 2011. And I saw him. And this was 6 months after I had just gotten out of something really bad, physically abusive bad. And there I was 6 months later. I remember that day. I remember I woke up and I was so happy. I remember the way the sun was shining that day. I remember the way I was feeling. I was feeling just bubbly and happy, and I felt like I was getting healed. I was being healed, and I was just enjoying the time I was spending with my friends. And I met a new friend, and we were going to go out with a new friend for brunch that day. And I was at a good place, you know. I was vibrating really high. And when I walked in the bar that day, we had gone to brunch, and my friend had to go to his night shift. He was a bartender, and we walked in and I saw him. And I went in the bathroom and I hid. I hid. My friend went over to him and was like, "Hey, how have you been?" So I was like, oh my God, he knows him. I don't know this dude, but I know right now he looks like absolute trouble. And I didn't want to meet him. And I went in the bathroom so I didn't have to talk to him. And I was hoping that when I got out of the bathroom that they would be done their conversation. I literally sat in the bathroom for a while. I didn't want to meet him. You can't make that kind of stuff up if you tried. And, you know, it used to be like the running joke, like, oh, you know, I didn't even want to meet this guy. I hid in the bathroom, and lo and behold, he became the love of my life, you know. Narc Survivor had a really good video today. I loved what he said. I watched it. He said that he will cherish the memories he had with his ex-narc, because those memories to him felt very real. And he will cherish, you know, the first version of her that he had. And he will remember the way that, you know, she looked into his eyes and the way she hugged him. I cried when he said that. Because I know what he means. But he's smart now, you know. He says it's been 14 months since he's been out of it. And he said he wouldn't take back what happened. He wouldn't take it back. And he has no regrets. He even tried to commit suicide because of this girl. And many people I'm working with, this happened to. So this is really serious stuff. But he made a point that in order to move on, and in order to get to the place he's at now, you have to have forgiveness of all the things they did to you up until the bitter end, the very last minute that you said, okay, enough is enough. I don't want to talk to you. He said, you know, do I think about contacting her? Sure. But he goes, but I know that nothing has changed and nothing will change. And it will be great again in the beginning, but the abuse will eventually start up again. So my message today to everyone is we all made the right decision. And moving forward is our only option to getting back to the best version of ourselves, or getting to the very best version of ourselves. There's a version out there of ourselves that we've never, ever seen or felt or experienced before. And it's coming. The breakthrough is coming. It's going to happen for me and for all of you. And no longer is the darkness and the negativity going to have this hold over our soul and our mind and our spirit. It's not going to happen. So I hope that all of you will continue to follow me in my journey and continue to have the confidence that I can help you see the light. For some of you, you're still in it and you need to get out. And I don't force anybody to do anything that they're not ready to do. But I do give you tips and techniques, and I do give you the knowledge you need to know of why they're doing the things they're doing. Because I know how these people operate. I know that they have a master manipulator at their right shoulder, leading them all the way through. So I hope that all of you have a really good evening. And I look forward to our conversations. I believe Saturday afternoon. I have to work Saturday night. So Saturday afternoon, I'll try to put in something around like later on in the afternoon, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock-ish. So please make sure that you subscribe to the little bell on the right-hand corner of the video in the drop-down, or I think it's just right there. You'll see the bell. If you click on that bell and you have the 2 lines next to the bell, you'll know that you'll get the notifications of when I have a new video out or when I've gone live. Thanks again. I'm Trace Face. It's time we all face the truth together.